Hey, interrupting this intro, which I hope you find pretty cool, to say be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. More subscribers, more content, more things I can do. Just let me know what you like. Thanks. Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back. Some quick things here. I got the dead pedals for the Fox body. I'm getting ready to put it in. This is what it looks like. If you don't have a dead pedal order from late model, it comes just like this. You'll see it's got two mounting holes there in it, and they give you some screws to attach it. So, luckily in my car, for example, there's two dimples, one here and one here, that actually line up perfect for where the dead pedal is supposed to mount. So if I line those up like that, check it out, that's gonna hit perfect. So I'm gonna drill it with my drill bit, a little bit smaller than the bolt, than the screw size, and then tighten it up, and it'll be good to go. Before I do that, I'm gonna take a flat blade screwdriver, and I'm gonna pop off this little plastic cover here, and put on my updated one to match my pedals. Also go in here and squeeze these like that and push it. Squeeze and push. And then use this to pop it out. Just like that. These are so stiff, what you have to do is take a pair of pliers and squeeze them in like that. And then they'll fit. Ba-boom. So before I go putting this, snap it all the way in, I'm gonna go ahead and mount this first. And then pop this in and we'll be good to go. Nice and tight through there, and then we can clip our pedal into place here like that. And now all I have to do is take a razor blade and trim my carpet out right here so it goes around it, and we will be good to go. Well, that was an easy mod, especially with the holes already dimpled. Now, I don't have my push pin in here. Once I push it in, it'll actually pull that back more. But now all the pedals in there match. My next mod is I'm getting ready to change out the factory ashtray here, which is nothing nobody smokes in 2024. I'm gonna pull this apart so I can get in there to it, take the screws out, and I'm replacing it with this really cool and modern update, which gives you actual cup holders that work and two charging ports there, one for a cigarette lighter and one for like a USB charger. So that's gonna be a really nice modern upgrade. Would you just look at it? Right, put it there so you can bang the gears, or you can put it here and have another one there. And it's big enough that it'll hold a big Slurpee if you got one. I might look into getting some of those little rubber inserts and put in here, but for now, look at that. Cup holder and a Fox body, go figure. All right, more Fox body stuff today. So this is an altimeter pillar pod gauge holder, pillar pod housing, whatever you wanna call it. Part number 10101, and this holds a single gauge up on the pillar. And then this is a knockoff AEM wideband. It's just made in China off Amazon. It was about 80 bucks cheaper than the AEM. So you know what, if it works, we're good to go. Most people said everything works. It's the sensor that might give them trouble because it's a knockoff Bosch sensor. But either way, I just needed the cheapest thing I could get. This thing was 100 bucks for everything. By comparison, if you need a new sensor, they're about 40 bucks for a Bosch sensor, 40 to 50 bucks. No big deal. But anyway, it's pretty straightforward. You put this in the exhaust, you put this on the pillar, you have two connections here. One connection goes all the way down to your sensor and plugs in very easy. And this connection here, you only use the red and black wires for key on, power, and ground. So pretty straightforward. But this is gonna allow me to check the air fuel prior to my E85 conversion. All right, so the first thing to do is take the pillar out of your car. What you'll notice is mine had a hole in it here and some holes here. So somebody clearly had some kind of gauge on this car back in the day. So basically you pull this out. What we're gonna do is gonna put our piece on here strategically enough to cover up the other holes. And then, that hole actually lines up there. And then make sure our hole back in there is enough for the wires to come through. Now the wires are pretty big size, so I got a unibit, and that's the size that'll actually clear everything. It looks like about a 3 7/8 hole size. So what I'm gonna do is go in here, open this up, make my connectors go through. I'll pull the harness through. I hold this on here. I'll put now that that hole lines up, I'll put one of these fasteners into it, and then I'll drill the other ones, push them in, then I can actually pull the wires through, hook to the gauge, and push the gauge in. If you remove the trim piece here, right here under where the seat goes, there's a rubber grommet at the bottom. So you can take that out, put a hole in it, and then you can run your wire through. So I ran it through just to make sure that would work, and it will. So I'm gonna pull the wire back out like this. I'm actually gonna put it through this grommet like so. See if I can force this through there. Yep. So now I can shove this back up through the bottom, and then for this extra big hole here, all I've got to do is I'll just cram some silicone in it when I'm done from the bottom, and it'll be fully sealed. But this way, nothing will chafe against the car, and it goes through an existing hole, not drilling more holes in the body. I'll run this up through. All right, and you run your wires up right here on this side, tuck them in between here, pull them up like that. Make sure you got some slack. So both of my connectors are gonna go in now. Here's my actual installed pillar mount. You see where the hole is there, and everything's covered. Looks really nice. So what I'm gonna do is hold this over, pull the wires through, tuck this up into place, and then once everything's in place, then I'll go ahead and push my gauge in for the final time. But that's gonna look pretty nice. All right, now that I got all this back together, my trim, got my wires hanging out here. I want to plug them into my gauge, and you'll see there's a 4 position on the right, and the looks like 6 position on the left, and that's the 6 for the sensor. That's the power, which is 4, and you want to line them up with that little indentation there to the top here. So I'm going to plug those in and plug it in. Like so. Perfect. I'll wipe the dust off of it here, but that's it. Okay, all back together. Gauge is in. Looks great. Now all I have to do is hook the red and black wire here to key on power, and the black to ground, red key on power, blue and white I'll just cut out of the way. I'll hook them into the fuse box. I'll find where there's actually power, 12 volts on, hook it up, pretty simple. The other side's hooking up the sensor.